Okay, so we're going to look at 16th strumming pattern. It's exactly double the amount for the 8ths. And we're just going to keep the same bobbing motion as we talked about in the 8ths video. It's always important to do that. Now you can switch from 8th strumming to 16ths, and it might seem irregular, but there's constant bobbing through it. So you might go 8ths and then 16ths. So even though one's going slower and the other one's going faster, there's still that pulse running through the two different strums. It's not irregular at all. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to show you this PDF. So what we're going to do, just like in the 8ths, we're going to strum it in midair, and we've got to get used to counting E and A, E and A. So I'm going to show you what that means. So in the air, 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. Now this, you've just got to drill counting that into your head, adding the E and the A. So it's sort of a extra division of time. If you can see, you got your 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and from the 8ths, and it's a little division of time in between. And what it does as well is it makes you do a downstroke on your and, which in your 8ths you would be doing an upstroke there. So if you was to do just straight sort of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, they would all be down strums in 16th strumming style, so it'd sound a bit more full on. We'll get onto that in a second. I've got an example of that, but this is what I want you to do. Just get used to counting 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and I'm going to show you how to flip between that one and the 8ths. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and when you're used to that, I want you to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and because what you're doing is you're noticing the pulse, and the pulse is the 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's see what we got next on here. Yeah, that's what I've just done there. So we can play the 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can ghost these, do fake strums for these. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, practice that. All these little stages, I'm going through it quick, but you need to look at this and pause it and play that so you can do it. Now here's the example of playing the and. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but in 16th strum. So you notice your ands on a downstroke, because your upstroke's going to be the E and the A. So if we were doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in 8ths, it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But in 16ths, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you can see my hands working at double the rate of the first one. So if I do the first one without hitting the strings, 2 and 3, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, it's exactly double the amount of time. So it sounds a bit more driven. Actually, I'll show you the two differences. So here's the 8ths. Here's 16ths, the same pattern. So it sounds a bit more driven, less sort of nicey. Okay, so that's comparing it to the 16th. So that's the 8ths. So here we've got a couple of little 16th strumming patterns. So we got the 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A. So you're just hitting the strong beat, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the A. We're always hitting the A here. So maybe if I went like this, it might look better. So 1 E and A. So get that first. 1 E and A. I'll show you my hands. You can't see. 1 E and A. So we got 1 E and A, 2 E and A, 3 E and A, 4 E and A. So without me saying anything. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next one. So you can see here, I put the strum on the E instead of the A. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E. All right, so 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and okay, I'll let you see that. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and without me saying out. Okay, let's go to the next one. If you can really understand these, then your strumming should be so much easier after a while. So the E and the A here, 1 E da, 2 E da. So missing out the and. So that sounds like 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E down. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and another way to view that, where it's a little bit easier, is to go 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and yeah, and you get a lot of guys who slap this and you might have heard it a lot of songs like left a good job in the city. So that'd be the and, it'd just be like percussive slap. So 1 E and 2 E and just a little Brucey bonus there for you. Just realised that while I was doing it. Okay, so knocking on heaven's door is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. You see what that's like. It's quite a driven beat. So another way that might help you to view it if you're struggling is 4 downs and a little up. So okay, so let's get to the next one. So this is understanding the beats side by side. So I'm going to count this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the next one, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and what I'm going to do is I've highlighted the strong beat. I'm not going to say all the in-between ones, and I'm just going to do the strumming pattern, and I'm going to just say the 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when you move to the 16th strum, the 1, 2, 3, 4 should be exactly the same pulse as what is in the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my gauge for doing that right is by constantly counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And I notice that I don't speed up the 1, 2, 3, 4 when I jump from the 16ths. So I was jumping from this one to this one, just back and forward, keeping the pulse the same. So I'll show you what that looks like. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's showing you how 16th sits over 8ths for when you need to flit in between the two. Mostly what happens when people start going faster, they'll notice that the pulse slows down. Even though they feel like they're going faster, they're actually playing these fast notes but slower than the pulse. You see it with drummers all the time when they do really fast fills. They don't realise that they're actually slowing the beat down. So this little exercise is changing the beat halfway through. So it's going 1 and 2 and 3E and a 4E and a 1 and 2 and 3E and a 4E and a 1. I'll show you what that looks like. And I know I said it's always constantly like this, but there are the exception to the rule. Anything anyone says, there's always the opposite that's been successful. And there is the odd song where it jumps straight into 16ths and then back to 8ths. Because if I played that rhythm I just did to you as 16ths, then these and beats would be down. And then that wouldn't feel the same. So someone might go for this sort of effect in the song. So here's doing it on every beat. So 1 and 2E and a 3 and 4E and a 1 and 2E and a 3 and 4E and a 1 and 2E and a 3 and 4E and a 1 and 2E, 3 and 4E and a. Okay, and the very last one is a question that I got from a friend called Darren. He said, how do you play the Canter by Jerry Cinnamon? And it was very hard for me to explain because it wasn't just straight 16ths. Because if it was, these and beats would be down beats. And like we said on the 16ths, playing the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and they were all down. But if you listen to the record, these and beats are up. So he must be playing this as 8ths. And he must be playing this as 16ths. Because you've got the there. So it goes 1 and 2E and a. Well, but we missed the E. So 1 and 2E and a 3 and 4 and. So if you notice on this end of the beat, it does G sus4 and this hand it goes back to the G. So G to G sus4 if you're unfamiliar. G, G sus4, or just that one finger there if you want. So see, I'm going slow there, and then I speed up. So nice and slow. And I add that in. So other places you might hear that is if you listen to the... You'll hear that on the jumping jack flash. Maybe that's a riff we can do down the line. But yeah, you'll see it in a lot of Who songs. So they're doing that little fast 16th beat kind of strum and floating back into the eighths. Okay, so I hope that helps. It's a lot of information to take in. If you can master this and master eighths, you'll never have to think about strumming really again. It should just be an automatic response, and this might take you about 5 watches through to fully understand it. So don't think if you can't get it on the first watch. If there's anything not clear, tell me and I'll point it out as well. All right, thank you very much.